Well, hello, good, happy Friday! We made it to Friday. Welcome from wherever you are. I'm Michelle. I'm a visibility coach, and I do a lot of storytelling. So yesterday, I told a story about how I walked into a building. And those of you who don't know me, and you can actually read my about me section right here on the feature section. Okay. If you're watching this from LinkedIn, then drop me a blue heart. If you're watching this from YouTube, drop me a red heart. And if you're watching this from my Facebook group, hello, ladies. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. So, just to give you a visual, I am 4 feet 4 inches tall. So, yesterday I walked into this building and suddenly there's a guy walking towards me on the opposite direction. And then he went on and he stopped me actually. And he said, "How tall are you?" And I paused for a minute. And years ago, I would totally to take that very personal and I would get really offended, right? But there I was. I'm like, "Oh, I'm 4 feet 4 inches. How's the air up there?" That was my reaction to his comment. How or questions? How tall are you? And so I think over the years, I've learned to be like getting really real. Like I don't like doing bullshit. So you are watching this because every week I bring a topic to you that feels relevant in your coaching business, in growing your coaching business. And these are the things that I have done in the past that got me this far. um I wasn't always this tech savvy person. And so having my own business made me, and I'm a solopreneur for many years until just recently I started to have a team. I started to have people helping me doing some of the techie stuff. But prior to that, I didn't have a team. I didn't have anybody to really help me in doing a lot of these technical things. Like you see the ticker, you see like these beautiful branded pictures. A lot of these I had to do it myself. And going through that process made me realize that if you're someone who have all the skills that you have in coaching and you will like you want to get out there and to make a difference and make an impact, but if you're getting stuck as silly thing as how do I go live, or how do I figure this live stream out, how do I actually multi-streaming to different platforms, then that's like an extra load of burden that you really don't need. And so I'm coming on to the show because I see a lot of my clients, they're not very tech savvy, right? And they're struggling with how do I create these workbook on Canva? How do I create this photo that I'm going to share on social media? Never used Canva before. And Canva, by the way, is a beautiful thing, but that's not one of the app that we're going to talk about today. So they're not very tech savvy, and there's a big, huge learning curve that they have to overcome in order to get their business out there to start growing it. And so this is one of the topic that I'm pretty tech savvy, so I'm gonna show you what I know. And I am definitely not the expert in technology because I'm still learning every single day. Like today, I'm learning how to incorporate a live chat onto my website. So if you go to elevatelivecoaching.org forward slash webinar forward slash 27, you will be able to see my live stream right there on the website. But did I know how to do that? No. I had to learn how to put that together so that you can watch me from my own very website. So it was a lot of learning curves and trying to figure things out. So I'm gonna put that into the chat so you can go check it out. Um, Actually, it's gonna be showing up on the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I will link it for you later. It'll be available for you for the webinar. I had to figure all this out. So if you're stuck on the tech savvy, today we're going to tackle that. Okay. So you started your coaching business and you're excited about getting clients, but if you're stuck on the technology, then sit down, grab a coffee. I'm gonna show you exactly what are the three big apps that you're going to need to have a thriving, growing coaching business, and you just need three. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going on out there that's floating around, fancy stuff. You don't need all that to have a thriving, growing coaching business. You just need three big one. And I'm going to share those are the things that I've used for many, many years until I actually started to have people helping me doing them. All right. So you're not tech savvy. What are the top three? So the top three apps that you're going to need, I'm going to go through one by one. Okay. So the first one is you need to have a calendar. I'm sorry, ladies, but you need to have a calendar. I don't mean just any calendar. I mean a calendar where you put all your shit together. I know, right? But stop saying that, oh, I have a calendar for work, I have a calendar for home, I have a calendar for my kids' soccer game. You're gonna need to have a centralized calendar where you can keep all the shit together. All right, that's just number one. So, what do you use typically? I personally I'm a big fan of Google Calendar. So, I would always have a Google Calendar on my phone, and basically it syncs across all your devices, right? So you can have it on your iPad, you can have it on your desktop. So I personally love using Google Calendar. And Google Calendar, believe it or not, is an app that a lot of people don't optimize it and they don't use it to the extent that the app is meant to do. And so there's a lot of cool things that you can do with a Google Calendar. All right, so I'm going to show you real quickly how I use Google Calendar. Let me go to this one. All right, I'm going to show you real quick on how I use my Google Calendar. Basically, we are going to share screen. So here's a Google Calendar. Now you'll be staring at a blank one if you didn't set up like any of the previous ones. Say so we're just gonna start from scratch. You can create an event. You can create a reminder or a task. What do you do? How do you use all these functions? You can create an event, and that would be an appointment that's going to send you an alert. Something is going on. That say I'm going live right now, so I would put in live event or live webinar, and I can assign whether or not I want to do a Google Meet, or I can link it to my Zoom meetings. It'll generate a Zoom meeting for me, right? These are the just like very basic things. I'm hoping that you're already using it, right? So you create an event. Let's say that's an event. We're not gonna show all my private stuff. You created an event, so that event is going to show up on that calendar for you as an event. Now, there's cool thing about Google Calendar is the task. So the task you can assign, and the beauty about the task is you can add description. So let's say you're going to use this as a content planner. Then let's say today I want to create a post about not so tech savvy. So today we're going to technology you need in coaching business. And look at that. You have an area to put in your caption. You have an area to send you a reminder exactly what do you want to talk about. So people don't you most of the time use the task function to remind them that there's something that they need to do. But if you are a content creator or course creator or coach, then you can actually use that section to write your caption, to plan your content accordingly, so that that particular day on that task, your task is to copy that whatever that you have stored in here, and copy that, paste it onto your social media. It saves you tons of time, right? So that's how you can use the task on the Google Calendar to actually use it as a content planner, in the so to speak. So that's two, you're killing two birds with one stone just by doing that. So that's something that a lot of people don't use and they don't know about, but that's essentially what you can use Google Calendar for. All right. So let's say you want to combine it with a scheduling app. You're like way advanced, right? You want to schedule an appointment. So Google recently had offered a Google Workplace, and that would allow you to, that's a pay version, and that would allow you to send your clients or anybody that you would like to have a appointment with. You can send them a link, and they'll be able to use that link to book a call with you. So that would be another option. So you really just need one app, Google app, Google Calendar app, and that will solve your calendar issues and your content planner issue, because now you have a centralized place to dump all your ideas under the task. And then you can have one calendar that fits all the different responsibility in your area. So let's say you want to have a personal section, then you can create a personal section. You can have a birthday section, then you can create a calendar for your birthday section. Let's say you have kids soccer game to go, then you will come in here and create a calendar for the soccer game. So there's a lot of things that allows you to keep multiple different event or different areas of your life just on one single calendar. Can you do that on the Apple calendar? I'm sure you can, but I like how it's big, it's easy to read, it's easy to access, and so easy for me to use it. So I love Google Calendar. All right, so that's the first app that you're going to need to have a growing and thriving coaching business. The second app you need on your phone, on your devices, would be Google Drive, right? I think Google should just pay me for or just sponsor me my video, because like two out of the three apps I'm talking about are just coming from Google. So I personally use Google Drive to store a lot of data, a lot of information, and client contracts and workbook, anything that you need for your business. I store them in a cloud-based system, a cloud-based app. You can store it on your iCloud, which is also doable, right? You access it from your phone. But if you're someone who doesn't have the Apple product, then you probably might feel very limited. And then you would have to purchase something like Box or what do you call that? There's another app I used to use. I'm blinking out. Dropbox is another app that you might be able to use to store all your file information. Google app, Google Drive, very easy to access. As long as you're connected to the internet, you'll be able to download it, download your file, store it, and edit it. So I use a lot of Google Drive to edit my content. I use Google Drive for my client's workbook. I use Google Drive for to store my picture, anything that I want to share with my audience or anyone who's relevant to that particular folder. They'll get access to it. So it's very multifunctional, and you don't have to like go through a learning curve of learning how to use it, how to set it up, how to create an account for it. So second app, Google Drive. And I was just talking to one of my clients, and we were sharing some spreadsheets for the 3 months content planner. And that's how I shared my files with her. I said, just copy this, make a copy, and then you'll store it on your own Google Drive. Very easy. So the second big app that you're going to need that will help you to have a thriving and growing coaching business is you need to have some kind of cloud storage or file storage drive. It can be very simple. It doesn't require you to do a lot of technology troubleshooting. It doesn't break, right? You just keep things there. It's there. You can always find it. So I definitely like having some kind of ability to be able to travel and to be able to access my all my documents as I need it, rather than store it in just on my desktop, on my computer, or it's on my desk in a file somewhere. So cloud storage is a must. The third app that I would absolutely suggest to every single coach to have a growing and thriving coaching business is you need to have some kind of communication app that you go to. If you are someone who likes Messenger, you use Facebook Messenger a lot, then make sure you download their app, Messenger, right? Use that as a communication app. I know there's a lot of people who likes WhatsApp, even though there's a lot of like weird people hanging out on WhatsApp. I never liked it. A lot of my friends and particularly people in like in Taiwan, we use WhatsApp, and there's also something called Line, right? Some people use Line, some people use Slack. Any type of communication channel that you can invite people to. And you might say, well, Michelle, can I just use my text messages? Yes, you can, but it would be very limited. If you're working remotely and you started to work with clients who's overseas, then your text messages become very limited, right? So you end up having to go to another app just for the communication. What I like to do is I like to streamline all the things that I do in just one single place. So the only thing that I use on text messages is for people like my family member. They text message me, my close friends, colleagues from last work, previous work. They will text me. But most of my client communication, a lot of my team member communication, all of them usually come from the messenger or the Slack. So those are the two places I go. But if I were to really narrow down to just one, I personally, because I'm hanging out on Facebook so much, I would just go to Messenger because that's my one single place where I can find all the chat message. I can find all the history. I can connect with people who connect with me, who reach out to me. It's that one single place I go to. So three apps. That's all you need to have a growing coaching business. How do you do that? Well, you need when someone make a new connection with you, you're probably going to send them and share them the calendar, right? So you're going to put a slot onto your calendar and you need to be able to access it right away. So what I would do is I would just pull out my Google Calendar, put it, create an event, and send that link to that person. It's already done without even going into like figuring out which day works for you. And you can just tell people right away with all these busy life that you have what are your available time and date, and let that person know 9 o'clock works for you. Great, here's an event. Here's the link for you. And so it's like really one easy simple thing instead of going back and forth. Which day are you available, which day can I see you, and like you're trying to figure things out. That's just too much headache and you got too much things going on. Why would you be doing that? So just um one single one single app that can take care of all your schedules. If you have a soccer game to go, if you need to go to your kids' PTA, then put it onto your calendar so that you can time block from your very busy day so that it never feels like you're all over the place. And I like the time blocking. So you can actually set up color coding on your Google Calendar app so that it's clear which color is for what activity or in what area, and that will give you a much more clear picture of which area needs to stand back a little bit. Maybe it's your kid's soccer game, maybe they just need to go to a swing team. All right. And the second app, just to sum up, is your cloud drive. So something that you can store all your file and not only relying on your desktop computer. If you're like me, who enjoy traveling, who likes to go into places, and who enjoy the beauty of working remotely, then you definitely want to look into a cloud storage app where it allows you to store a lot of your document important things that you want to share with your clients on a cloud-based drive, whether it's iCloud or Google Drive. You pick. There's also Microsoft, right? Microsoft also has a cloud drive. So I would just pick one and stick to it, and that's where you find all your things. The third app that you're going to need is, and these are all basic, these are all basic, you don't need anything else, right, to start having that growing coaching business. The rest of the things, the rest of the fancy stuff, you're going to pick up as you progress. And so there's no need to running around and subscribing to everything as long as you just have three. And if you were just to stick with three, you're perfectly fine. Because your job will get done. I would probably add a bonus app in there because it's also important that you have a payment app. You can do a Venmo, you can do a PayPal, you can have set up some bank account bank account things like Stripe or Square that you can take your clients' money or accept their payment. That would be a bonus app, right? And hopefully you're using it already. I mean, when I do order takeout, I use Venmo to my friend all the time. So hopefully you already have that option. So that's already solved. That's already given that you have that app. But that would be the fourth app, a bonus app that I would add to your device. But that's all you need. Your scheduling app, your cloud storage, your communication app. These are the three things that you're absolutely going to need if you want to have a growing and thriving coaching business. And the beauty about having just three is that you narrow down and you streamline down to all the things that you may not need, that you don't need to be. So I hear people say this a lot. I need to be on Instagram. I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to be on Facebook. What if you just narrow it down to one? Like which one? One thing that you can do today that would give you the most benefit and most impact. That's the one that you go to instead of like throwing your spaghetti on all three different platforms. Why not just focus on creating content? And this is like a real thing, right? A lot of people say I'm struggling with creating content. Well, yeah, you're creating content on all different three platforms. What if you just focus on creating your content on just one platform? Like, can you do that? I bet you can. So don't be so ambitious in the beginning and trying to hit all the places, right? Just go to one place. And so a lot of time I hang out on Facebook, and recently I'm spending a lot more time on LinkedIn because I started to have a lot more connection on LinkedIn. But most of the time I hang out on Facebook. So those of you who are not in Facebook, I would love to invite you to come and join me inside my private group. It's the Visibility Lounge, the female coaches growing coaching business with a story that attract and sell. So you can find me on Facebook. That's where I hang out most of the time. But that's super easy for me. The moment I wake up, that's like easy, right? It's like breathing. It's like just breathing the air. It's that easy. So do what is easy. Technology is something that should make your life easy and not harder. And if you find that you have to spend so much time in trying to figure out a technology, then maybe that one is not for you. And there's a lot of different competition nowadays when it comes to technology and different stuff that you can use, right? For example, streaming your video. There's the StreamYard, there's Restream, there's Ecamm. There's all these different options for you to choose from. What I would recommend is, if you're really looking for something that in the decision to the three app that I mentioned, the scheduling app, the cloud storage, the communication app, if you're really up to the point where you're expanding and you want to learn and you have the room and capacity to learn new technology, then what I would do is I would pick something that I immediately need to figure out. If you're figuring out podcasts, then go go research which platform have these free trial. And I guarantee you all of them has a free trial version for you to go and test it out, see which one you love, see which one is more intuitive for you, see which one is easier for you to access. Then that would be the one that you go to. You don't listen to other people and say, like, I personally love StreamYard, right? So I'm going to tell you everything about StreamYard, but you may not like the platform on StreamYard. So you may want to try Restream. You may want to try Ecamm. So you may want to try other things, but the idea is you don't have to try them all at once. You pick one that is going to help you to advance to your next step. And that's how you do it. And that's how I did it, right? I didn't figure out everything all at once. I test a little bit at a time. So I end up having multiple account on multiple platform because I like to try things out. And so just the other day, I unsubscribed a whole bunch of these things that I have tried. But I need to have a streaming video platform. Okay, that would be my prompt. That would make me to go wanted to explore what other apps or what other platform that would give me that option to share and stream. So take advantage of these free trial version and pick one that feels good for yourself. Okay, not going with what other people are using. You pick one that really easy, you don't have a big learning curve, and that would be the one that you go to. All right. So what do I use? Three big app that I use. Number one is I use Calendly. Calendly is my scheduling with clients when for booking. I recently migrated to Acuity. There's a big for me. It was a big learning curve to actually know how to learn how to use Acuity. So I moved from Calendly to Acuity because I wanted to be able to charge for events, and Calendly, I didn't like the look of it, so I was looking for an upgrade. So Calendar, Google app, and then Calendly for scheduling. I also use Google Drive. I store all my files on Google Drive. And then the most common communication app that I go to is Facebook Messenger. So those of you who are on Facebook, I would love for you to come and follow me on Facebook. Um, so if you type in Michelle Quay, it's gonna come up. So those are the three apps that I would recommend and suggest to anybody. All right. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this take a lot of that stress of I need to do, I need to have this, I need to have X, I need to have Y, I need to have be able to stream on multiple platform. I need to figure out like how this podcast thing work. What if you're not ready for it yet, right? And so instead of following the trend, what about ask yourself, what do I really need right now? And you might be surprised what you really need right now may just come down to these three apps: a scheduling app, cloud storage, and communication app. These might just be the three that you need to start growing your coaching business, and stop looking at all these like shiny objects people are doing and using. Just go back to the basic. Okay, so this is my three apps. If you're not very tech savvy, these are my tips, and hopefully you find values. And if you haven't already done so, would love for you to share your comment down below. What are the three apps that you are currently using that is absolutely essential for you in growing your coaching business? I would love to hear that from you. So go ahead and drop that in the comment down below, and that's chat. See you next time.